In the days following the initial strike, Mike Pompeo has been second only to Lindsey Graham, who is, again, as Israel first as they come. He was on a Saturday special edition of America's Newsroom. That's the day of the strikes. Sunday morning, Fox and Friends. Sunday night, Trey Gowdy Show. Monday afternoon, Harris Faulkner. Monday night, Sean Hannity. He wrote an op-ed for FoxNews.com. Mike Pompeo, Operation Epic Fury is righteous and regime change must follow. And we could keep going. But this is why the president thinks that there's public support for this and it's going so well and that he should stay there. It's because all he listens to is Mike Pompeo and Lindsey Graham. Well, JD needs to get loud. So does Tulsi. So does anybody else who can see the risks to America, much less the Republican Party, and this thing going on much longer. The president's messaging on how long this is going to last, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Like, listen to what he has said. This is just at yesterday's presser. Okay, this isn't like over the past week. This is at yesterday's presser on the timing of this thing. SOT 9.
We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot.
On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think so.
Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning. It's the beginning of building a new country. And we could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further.
Your guess is as good as mine. Here's Hegseth this morning. SOT 5.
On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives, which are the same as the day I gave my first briefing here on Operation Epic Fury. They're straightforward, and we are executing them with ruthless precision. 1, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base. Missiles and their ability to make them. 2, destroy their Navy. And 3, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever. It's a laser-focused, maximum authority mission delivered with overwhelming and unrelenting precision. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. But we do so. We do so on our timeline and at our choosing.
Okay, so he says we will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. And then you have Trump all over the place. I'm like, it's short, it's almost done, it's not almost done, but it's going to end soon. And then there was this in the downplaying of what it is to begin with. By the way, just before we play SOT 8, I want to tell you that out of the Pete Hegseth presser this morning, the first guest on Fox News was Mike Pompeo. Here's Trump in SOT 8 yesterday.
So with your help and hard work, we're making America great again, and we're doing it much faster than we thought, and it's better, stronger, and our country is doing really well. I mean, at a level that nobody thought. We took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil, and I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion. How good is our military, right? Amazing. How good. Short term.
A little excursion. I mean, there's already been a fair amount of pushback on that term because we have 7 dead American service personnel, not to mention the number who have died in Iran and Israel and the surrounding countries. A little excursion, and he said it over and over, so it was not accidental. Meanwhile, the president says war all the time. Some of his advisors are like, it's not a war. And then Trump gets out there and he's like, Sean Davis of the Federalist was making a joke about this on X. Like, the reason that messaging is not sticking is because every time Trump gets before the cameras, he's like, we're winning the war because it's not a war, and the Iranians don't understand war, and they're very bad at war, but we're good at war. But it's not a war. It's a little excursion. Okay, so that's not working. It's obviously a war. We're blowing them to smithereens. We've sunk their entire Navy. It's obviously a war. If somebody did this to us, do you think we'd be calling it a little excursion? I think we'd recognize that it was war. I don't like the word games are pointless. We have eyes. We know what it is. Let's just admit it and let's get it over with. And I hope the president's telling the truth when he says it's short term, short term. Great. Somebody asked him, do you mean days? And he said no. So we know it's longer than days. The last time Pete Hegseth put a number on it, he said maybe 8 weeks. I understand why he doesn't want to pin us down. We don't know what's going to happen. But short term needs to mean short term. We've already done immense damage. And yes, how about our military? Yes, they're incredible. They're stunning. They're the best and bravest in the entire world. That's always been the case. We're incredibly proud of them and their capacity and their courage. You know, what they're doing is courageous. But that doesn't make it smart. And it doesn't make it necessary. As Stu Burgier was pointing out yesterday, there's justified, the question of whether it's justified, and there's the question of whether it's necessary. And I thought that was a very helpful distinction. You know, there's no question Iran has attacked us many, many times. They killed a lot of U.S. troops in Iraq, almost 700 over the years. The Houthis have been attacking our people in the waterways. Obviously, they've been killing people, Israelis and Americans, via Hezbollah. And if you go back, 50 years, we get a lot more examples of Iran's bad behavior over the past 5 decades. So there's no one's arguing they're good. It's a murderous regime. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, the new guy they just elected as the Ayatollah, who's the Ayatollah's son, seems worse than the old guy. They say he's more of a radical. He's more hardline. He's more pro-nuke. So, be careful what you wish for. But the question is quagmire. The question is lasting consequences. The question is, was this our war to begin with? I understand why Israel wanted to go into Iran. Israel's got a great military, probably second only to ours. Good luck. Godspeed. You're the guys with all the great intelligence. Go for it. This is your neighborhood, not ours. Not ours. We're worried about our hemisphere. That's why we're talking about Greenland. That's why we went into Venezuela. Right? That's why now we're threatening Mexico on the drug cartels. That's why we threaten Canada on the fentanyl coming across the border. That's our hemisphere. We are not policemen of the world. We do not have to police the Middle East. Oh my God. That's never gone well for anyone. Want to keep going. There was an extraordinary Wall Street Journal article that dropped late in the day yesterday about the one that Caroline Leavitt called crap. It's got 3 reporters on it, and the headline is Trump advisors urge him to find Iran exit ramp, as I mentioned. Now the president, they point out, said we're way ahead of schedule. That he thinks it'll be very soon. You heard him say short timeline there in terms of when we're getting out. He sounded ready for a quick conclusion, writes the Wall Street Journal in their discussion with him. And yet, you hear Pete Hegseth not willing to give a timeline, saying we won't relent until the enemy's totally and decisively defeated. And today was talking about how this is going to be the most insane day yet in terms of our firepower. Here's that in SOT 6.
For example, today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet. Just the bifurcation, just the trend lines that we talked about on our first briefing. You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. We're winning decisively with brutal efficiency, total air dominance, and an unbreakable will to accomplish the president's objectives on our timeline.
Okay, so you can see there's a bit of a difference there, in what he says and the president with the short timeline, and we're way ahead of schedule and it's going to be over very soon. And then the president himself contradicting himself, it would seem, talking about how we're going to go further, we could go further, and that he would back the killing of the younger Khamenei, the new guy, if he proves unwilling to cede to U.S. demands. I mean, are we just going to keep killing the Iranian leaders who don't cede to all of our demands? Trump has said he wants unconditional surrender, which is basically one has to generally drop a nuclear bomb on somebody to get unconditional surrender. There are always some conditions to the surrender, we're going to have to go a lot further if we want unconditional surrender, especially by the Iranians. The reports are that Trump has been surprised by how much they've dug in and how unwilling they are to surrender. It's a cultural thing. It's like the Iranians. It's the IRGC. There are tens of thousands of them. They are very dug in. And there's a question about whether we're really just going to have to declare victory with less than that, or whether we are just going to keep killing people named Khamenei who get elected as the new Ayatollah. There are questions, too, about just how much support we have from the Iranian people for the bombing campaign that we're unleashing right now. 80% of Iranians wanted Khamenei gone, according to polls. But now we're raining oil down upon them and their children. And what we saw when the new Khamenei, the 56-year-old son of the 86-year-old cleric, his name is Mojtaba Khamenei, when he was named the supreme leader, there was a massive gathering in Tehran, and this is what it looked like. A rolling video of, it looks like tens of thousands. I don't know. I'm not good at estimating crowds, but that to me looks like tens of thousands out in the public square cheering him on. Now, many point out that, Iran has got 92 million people. So that's not, with respect to the overall population, it's really not that many. But I mean, it's a decent amount considering that we're dropping bombs on them every hour. Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth about $165,000. That's why many smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. And it's why you should consider buying gold from Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, gold has been a store of wealth. And today, it's a crucial part of any balanced strategy. Even better, Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Again, text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.